What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Face the Heels. This is episode 28. My name is Ben Cornett, and you can find me on X at BennyBoys702. Well, we are back for another episode. It's been a while, about a month now. Very busy. Sorry about that. I apologize. I know this wasn't scheduled for tonight, but things opened up, so I'm here now. Yeah, it's been quite a few weeks since we last had an episode of Face the Heels. As you know, this past weekend we had a WWE premium live event called Crown Jewel. Um, I watched the show. It was, I would say, pretty good. Was it one of the best Saudi Arabia shows? Maybe not the best one, but certainly it was pretty good. As you know, Roman Reigns defended the uh, undisputed Universal title against LA Knight. Good match. But it's kind of become typical. The bloodline. Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Solo get involved again, um, and then help Roman win. So yeah, it's not really a shocker. I think we all knew Roman was going to win. For LA Knight, it's a great spot to be in. His superstar, his rise to the top lately has been extraordinary. He's had a great year. Um, he it's amazing that we're almost at the end of 2023 and thinking where LA Knight was at the beginning of the year. In the Royal Rumble match, he had a program with the late Bray Wyatt. Um, the match wasn't very good. You thought, well, you know, this could be it. Excuse me, this could be it for LA Knight. But no, as the months went on, he got bigger, got more popular. The fans got behind him more, and WWE listened. They said, okay, we got something here, and LA Knight has his star is shining bright right now. And even though he lost, that's there's an old saying I believe Jim Ross says, uh, you don't have to, you know, go go over to get over, meaning that you don't have to win to get over with the crowd. You could still lose and have the crowd behind you, where they cheer you or boo you. You're over. When you're not over is when you get no reaction. And LA Knight's definitely got the reactions. He's just so popular right now. His merchandise is selling like the number one selling T-shirt. Um, I think him and Cody have the top uh, two T-shirts sold. So it's been an amazing year for LA Knight. And again, good match. And LA Knight's going to be back. This isn't going to hurt him losing to Roman Reigns in a big, high-profile match. So yeah, the beat goes on with Roman Reigns, and look, I think we all know pretty much the end game. It's going to be him and Cody again, most likely at WrestleMania. So we're in November now, Survivor Series month. That's a few weeks away in Chicago. I know that the big name that keeps popping up, people think's going to happen is CM Punk. Um, haven't heard anything on it. I'm sure if they bring Punk in, they're going to keep it as quiet as possible. Um, and obviously, Survivor Series is in Chicago, and um, you know, why not? What better place to debut or have CM Punk return to WWE than Chicago? That's how he made his AEW debut. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, again, if CM Punk comes out, I've said it many times. He's gonna have to be on his best behavior. He burnt that bridge with AEW. You know, WWE's always been willing to welcome wrestlers back who have had issues in the past with WWE. I mean, like even the Ultimate Warrior. We all know that story for the old school fans. If he figuratively put a gun to Vince's head at SummerSlam '91. Truth behind that, real quick, is that um, he wanted his money up front, or he wouldn't go out and wrestle that night with Hulk Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter and General Adnan. SummerSlam '91, by the way. So, but my point is, even the Ultimate Warrior was ultimately, no pun intended, welcome back to WWE. So, business is business, and if Triple H sees it as a big, well, not just him now, but Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel, they see him as a big investment. They'll bring him in. So we'll see what happens. We don't know if he'll be here or not. Does WWE need CM Punk? No. But, if they do bring him aboard, great. It'll freshen up wherever he goes, Raw or SmackDown. So we'll see what happens. There's rumors that Randy Orton may be coming back to Survivor Series, possibly. He's been training at the Performance Center as of late, according to reports. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time for WWE. We're getting to that nearly WrestleMania season, which starts really in January, or after the Royal Rumble, I should say. So it's not too far away. But anyway, with Crown Jewel, it was a pretty good event. Matches I thought would happen, the results that I thought would happen did happen. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre had a pretty good match. Seth, he retains his WWE World Title, so good for Seth. But to me, I mean, maybe it's just me, but it seems like his title run's kind of getting a little bit stale. This could be a good time for maybe a new champion on Raw. We'll see. I know it's not going to be Cody, but possibly a Damian Priest. He tried to cash in his Money in the Bank at Crown Jewel, but Sami Zayn took that from him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on the Raw side of things. Actually, as we're talking right now, as we're live, Raw is going on. I don't want to get in trouble here, so sorry about that. I can't really have wrestling on, right? I can't show that, or I'll get in trouble with Facebook or YouTube. So sorry about that. But I will tell you right now, there is I believe it looked like a women's battle royal, and I think it's for the number one contender for the women's world title, which currently held by Rhea Ripley, and it looks like Zoe Stark won that match. So I'm assuming that's going to be the next opponent for Rhea is Zoe Stark. So that'll be interesting. I don't know if that'll be a Survivor Series match or maybe a title match on Raw. We don't know, but that should be interesting. There, Rhea Ripley did win her match. It was and it will be okay. So it's just announced Rhea Ripley and Zoe Stark for the women's world title at Survivor Series. So we'll see. I mean, I assume Rhea's going to retain it, but good for Zoe. She's done pretty good since she's been up to the main roster. She teamed up with Trish Stratus over the summer. Their rivalry with Becky Lynch was pretty good. So, yeah, good for Zoe. She's getting better and better on the main roster. Speaking of Rhea, she did win her match at Survivor Series. At Crown Jewel against Raquel, Nia. Who were the other two in that match? Zoe Stark. Yeah, it was like a 5-way women's title match. I forget who the other one was. I did see the match, by the way, but I just forget who the fourth or the fifth person was in that match. But Rhea, she maintained. She retained the women's title, so no surprise there. The other women's title match was Io Sky against Bianca Belair. And a pretty good match. But there was interference again. Io Sky won. She retains her women's title, but Kairi Sane came back to WWE. She made her return, attacking Bianca from behind. So apparently now, I guess her Kairi Sane and Io Sky are just forming a team, forming a group, even though Io's already in a group with Damage Control. So it'll be interesting to see where this one goes. Will Kairi Sane be in Damage Control, or because we got to remember the last time Kairi Sane was on WWE TV, she was attacked by Bayley. So it seems like to me they're going to go with that storyline. So it should be very interesting. Yeah, so that was a good match, but it's good to see Kairi Sane back in WWE. That'll add to the women's division there. She was in Stardom for a while down in Japan. I believe it was Stardom. So she got done there, and now she's back with WWE. So, yeah, it should be interesting where that goes. The other matches, Cody Rhodes took on Damian Priest. Good match. Cody ended up winning that match. No surprise there. Although, with Damian Priest, I mean, I would like to see him win some more matches, especially when you're holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Kind of just want to give him a little more momentum, make him look good. I understand you really can't have Cody lose, but at the same time, I mean, you do want to protect Damian Priest, make him look like a threat to whoever he would cash in. I would assume it would be the Raw champion, the world champion on Raw, because I don't think he'll do that against Roman Reigns. But I mean, you never know. But I don't see that happening. So yeah, I just think with Damian Priest, you want to try to get him some wins. Build him up a little bit, make him, like I said, a threat to actually cash in the Money in the Bank and win the World Heavyweight title. So, and speaking of title matches, the U.S. title match, Rey Mysterio defended against Logan Paul. Logan Paul won. He won the U.S. title. I kind of saw that coming, actually. I think with Logan Paul, he's a megastar in and out of the wrestling business. Obviously we all know he had his boxing match over a month ago. He's just a worldwide figure, and good for WWE to take advantage of that, put a belt around him. I think it's good. I'm okay with that, because Logan Paul's a really good wrestler. He's really just, every time he's gone out there in these matches, he's shined. He's a legit star. And I'm not saying make him the world champion, but making him the U.S. champion is still good. He can carry that belt for a little while, make it big, and make it feel important. And Rey Mysterio, a veteran, he's been in this for over 20 years, or probably over 30 years, I should say. Did the honors for Logan Paul, as they said, did the job. And I'm good with it. I'm good with Rey Mysterio, putting Logan Paul over. And Logan Paul's a star again. Take advantage of it. He's signed with WWE for a while, so why not? 1 second. Camera off. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't want you guys seeing me rub my nose. Kind of itching there. But yeah, anyway, what I was saying. Oh yeah. So for Logan Paul, cool beans, again, he's a megastar, not only in wrestling, but in social media, on YouTube. So why not take advantage for WWE? And also, we had another match, Solo against John Cena. I thought this was a good match, one of the best matches of the night. A lot of emotion, a lot of good storytelling in the ring, and Solo Sikoa ended up beating John Cena decisively. He ended up giving him 5 spikes uh, to him. Just beat the crap out of Cena toward the end of the match, and I thought that was good. I give John Cena a lot of credit for putting Solo over like that. Um, not a lot of legends or superstars would be that generous, but he wanted to make Solo look like a legitimate star and a threat, and that's what he did. And props to John Cena, and he's done it all. He doesn't have to uh, win a title anymore. He doesn't have to do that. He didn't even have to put Solo over like that, but he did, and that's nothing but respect for John Cena. Putting another younger star over, making Solo Sikoa look like a badass, and that's what he did. And so props to him. Good match. They did a segment with Miz TV with Grayson Waller, and they had a comedian from Saudi Arabia. I forget the name, but that's really only the other stuff on the show. So overall, Crown Jewel was solid. I wouldn't say it was a fantastic show, but it was a pretty good show. Not bad at all. Pretty good. Some good matches. So overall, if I had to rate it 1 through 10, I'd rate it about a 7.5. So, but hey, for what they had on that show, that was pretty good. So, yeah. Other stuff going on. Like I said, Raw's going on tonight. I'll be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of Raw anymore. 3 hours, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest. I do read the highlights. I'll see it on YouTube, some of it. But they're having a main event tonight between Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight titles. So that should be a very interesting match. I cannot wait for that. I think I will watch that match. Should be pretty good. That's really it for the WWE side of things. As far as AEW goes, the big news grabbing those headlines the last couple weeks, Ric Flair officially signed with AEW. That came about for the past month or so. Ric Flair, Tony Khan working behind the scenes. Mainly, the big deal breaker for that was, or deal maker, I should say, was Ric Flair's energy drink. He gets Woo energy drink, and mainly for sponsorship. Tony Khan wanted to get that sponsorship for his show. Good for him. I don't know what you would do with Ric Flair other than maybe make him a mouthpiece or a manager, because I don't want him wrestling. Okay, he's 74, doesn't need to wrestle, but give him a mouthpiece for somebody. Make his appearances special. He doesn't have to be on every week. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Ric Flair. With AEW, it's been pretty interesting. I've let my feelings known, in the past, that AEW really needs to step it up creatively. I think Tony Khan needs to delegate some of his work to other people, that work, with them. He can't be doing it all by himself. So I'm hoping Tony Khan still does that. I don't know, but I've watched a little AEW here and there, and it's just a bunch of matches, not a lot of build. I know MJF's the world champion, but it's been pretty underwhelming, if I'm being honest, with his world title reign, especially the last several months. It's been a bit underwhelming. I know things kind of halted with Adam Cole's injury, so they haven't really done much with that. But again, I'm just going to say I hope AEW can step their game up. They got a pay-per-view a week from Saturday. They really don't have too many matches announced yet. So once again, the lack of build for this show. And, I don't know. I just hope AEW can get their act together because, they're the second biggest company in North America, wrestling company really around the world. Well, I'll talk about another company, Impact Wrestling. They're going back to being TNA, Wrestling Total Nonstop Action. They made that decision at their Bound for Glory pay-per-view a few weeks ago. The president there, Scott D'Amore, made the announcement on the show saying we're going back to TNA. And that's going to begin January 14th in my hometown here, Las Vegas, at the Palms, a pay-per-view called Hard to Kill. So TNA is returning. Interesting. I mean, I think it'd be good for marketing. TNA, I remember, we all remember the 6-sided ring, but don't expect that to come back because they're going to keep it as 4-sided ring. But the name TNA is coming back, so it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. I don't follow TNA or Impact or TNA too much, but we'll see what happens. I'll try and go to the show. If there's tickets still available in the next month or so, I'll probably grab some. Be nice to see. I think I've only been to one TNA event, and that was out here in Vegas probably about 15 years ago. I believe it was taping an episode of Impact. I believe they had it at the old Hard Rock. Now it's Virgin Casinos, but at that time you had guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Main Event Mafia. So, back in the day. So, but anyway, TNA is back as TNA, and good luck to them. I think Alex Shelley's still the Impact champion there, and Naomi's the Trinity Fatu, former Naomi WWE, is the Impact Knockouts champion. So, I'm gonna have to follow that more often. Good for Impact TNA. So going back to their old roots, pretty cool. Well, I'm gonna, take off here. It's been an interesting show. I know it was unannounced. Didn't schedule this show for tonight, but I had some downtime, so I wanted to throw this on Face to Heels. It's episode 28. Again, just to kind of keep up with what's going on. Hopefully within the next week or two, I can start doing these shows more often, but with my schedule, it's been a little tough, but I'll try and do some more of these Face to Heel episodes and start getting back into a rhythm here. So with that being said, I'm going to take off, probably finish watching Raw. I'll probably go back and forth between that and Monday Night Football. So anyway, it's been good to bring the show back, even for a little bit, under a half hour. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share the show. You're watching this on the Ben Zone on Facebook and on YouTube at Ben Cornett 9015. So with that being said, I'm going to take off, but ladies and gentlemen, have a good week, and I will see you next time for another episode of Face to Heels. Take care, everybody.